Hi everyone, it's Jenny here from The Bear and the Fox. I'm back today with another roundup of our favourite picture books, and today I would like to share our favourite Scottish books with you. So let's get started. First up, we have a book that's great for the very little ones. It's called N is for Nessie, and it's a bright and colourful Scottish alphabet with things like G is for golf and H is for Highland cow, and of course N is for Nessie, and M is for the famous Scottish midges, and there's lots more to discover in this fun alphabet. Next book takes us to Dundee, and in this story a baby is entered into the contest to become the bonniest baby in Dundee, or to be crowned the bonniest baby in Dundee. As you can maybe tell from the title, he doesn't quite win, but he gets the title of fourth bonniest baby in Dundee. And this is a fun rhyming story, and you can maybe tell here from this picture, well, he doesn't quite win, but it's a very lovely and happy story and great for kids who like rhyming stories. Next we have Katy in Scotland. This is from a whole series of books about a wee girl called Katy, and in this one she travels to visit her granny in Scotland, and they meet up with Nessie and they go on a trip with Nessie to lots of places. So here they are at Kelvin Grove Museum in Glasgow, and then they travel on to Edinburgh, and here's Edinburgh Castle. So if you're visiting Scotland with kids, then this is a lovely book. Lots of places you can look out for on your own trip. Next we have a very famous cat in Edinburgh. It's Maisie Mackenzie, who comes to live with her granny in Morningside. This is the very first Maisie book. Morningside is an area in Edinburgh. So Maisie comes to live with her granny while her dad, he's an explorer and adventurer, he's out doing his trips, and Maisie has lots of adventures as she tries to adjust to life in Edinburgh. So this is the very first one. There are lots of Maisie books. This one is again quite good if you want an introduction to Edinburgh. Maisie's Festival Adventure. So here is Maisie at the Edinburgh Festival. Moving on from Edinburgh to Tobermory, which is another real life place. It is on the island of Mull in the Inner Hebrides. So the Tobermory cat wants to feel special, but he doesn't really know what he's special at. So he goes around and asks everybody how he can become special, and ends up doing lots of things, getting into lots of scrapes, and he becomes really famous for all the antics that he gets up to. And in the end, he has become a very, very special cat just by being himself. So that's quite a good message. And it's also a very fun book and lots of colourful pictures. So a great book, not just if you're travelling to Tobermory. Then we've got another Scottish island, though this one is fictional. It's the island of Strue. Here's a wee map for you. And Katy Morag lives here with her family. You might have come across Katy Morag on television because the Katy Morag stories, it's a whole series of stories, was made into a TV programme. And in this particular story, Katy Morag delivers the mail. So her mum and dad run the island post office, and in this story everyone's really busy, so Katy gets sent out to deliver the mail, and it goes a little bit wrong, as you can see here. Both Katy and the mail get very wet, and then there's a bit of a mix-up when she tries to deliver the mail because all the labels have run, but it all sorts itself out in the end. So there's lots of other great Katy Morag stories as well for you to discover. Then quite a new one, although again this is turned into a series of books. I think there's 3 out by now. Wee Granny's Magic Bag, a little bit reminiscent of Mary Poppins. Wee Granny has a big tartan carpet bag that she can pull all kinds of things out of, like a telephone box. And here she's pulled out a cooker and she's helping her grandchildren bake some cookies for a bake sale. And here she is squeezing everything back into her magic bag. So when Wee Granny and her magic bag are around, there are lots of adventures to be had, and it's quite just a fun story. Next we have another book about Nessie. This one is called No Such Thing as Nessie. It features a wee boy called Finlay who loves dinosaurs, and he's absolutely obsessed with Nessie, who is his favourite dinosaur. And his granny says that when she was a little girl, she saw Nessie. So Finlay is obsessed with also trying to see Nessie. So when he goes to visit, he keeps trying to spot Nessie, but every time he thinks he's been successful, it turns out to be something else. So this is not Nessie, it is some tractor wheels. And this keeps happening, but at the very, very end of the book, Nessie pops out and Granny and Finlay both see him. So he's finally managed to see Nessie. Whether or not anybody else will believe him is another story. Moving on from Nessie to Bagpipes, Beasties and Ogle'S. In this story, Charlie McCandlewick is a night sweep and he goes out at night, but he does not sweep chimneys, he sweeps up beasties and bogles that are terrorising people in the night. And here he is with his beastie and bogle hunting kit. All the kinds of things that you would need: gloves, night lamp, sweeping brush, thorn-proof leggings, and so on. Sturdy boots made in Scotland. But what does he do with all these beasties and bogles that he collects? Well, he ties them all up in big tartan bags. I wonder what he could be using those for. Well, he makes them into bagpipes. And this is how bagpipes work. Did you not know that? The sound they make is created by all the beasties and ogles that are inside trying to escape and making lots of noise. Of course that's how bagpipes work. Everybody knows that, don't they? Another great book that takes you all around Scotland is Maggie's Mittens, written by local Edinburgh author and fellow mum, Coo Clayton. And there's a map at the front as well. There you go. That shows you all the places featured in the book. So Maggie does not like her mittens because they're all scratchy and fuzzy. So on a trip around Scotland with her mum, she tries to get rid of them. So here she tries to give them to Greyfriars Bobby in Edinburgh. And then she tries to hand them off to some golfers in St Andrews, and so on, but she's never successful. Her mum keeps intervening, but eventually a cheeky puffin comes and flies off with Maggie's mittens, and it's at that point that she realises they may be a bit fuzzy and scratchy, but they were actually very good at keeping her hands warm. So she's a little bit upset, but it's fine because her granny knits her some new mittens. Then next we have a beautifully illustrated book called The Selkie Girl. This is based on a Scottish folktale and it has been reworked for a younger audience. So Selkies are magical seals who can shed their skins and turn into humans. So in this story, the Selkie Girl leaves her skin, her seal skin, on the beach, and a boy finds it and takes it home, and she cannot turn back into a seal. Here he is walking off with the seal skin, and you can see her running in the background trying to catch up with him. Here she is knocking at his window, and he says, if you stay for a week and be my friend, I will give you back your seal skin at the end. And there she is back at the end of the story, turned back into a seal. And last but not least, you may be familiar with the children's song, There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. Well, in Scotland we have the wee lassie who swallowed a midgie. I don't know why she swallowed a midgie, all teeny and squidgy. My boys absolutely love this book. They know the entire song off by heart, and we tend to actually sing this when we read it rather than just reading it out. So she swallows all kinds of things. Here's sort of the final page of everything that she has swallowed. She has swallowed the midgie, then a trout, a puffin, an eagle, a seal, a cow, Nessie. There's Nessie again. And at the end, she swallows a loch, which is a Scottish lake, and the loch washes everything back out again. Here we go. Here it is, all being washed out. So unlike the old lady who swallowed a fly and died at the end of the song, the wee lassie's a bit more lucky. So it all gets washed out, and then she eats a sandwich at the end instead. And that's it for today. Those were our top favourite Scottish picture books. I will put a list of all the book titles and authors over on my blog, and you will be able to find a link to that in the notes below. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do like this video and subscribe to our channel. And I will see you next time. Happy reading. Bye!